Hello, everybody. My name is Cataclysmic, and I usually play games on my channel, but today I'm kind of, I don't know, kind of upset about the way things have been going in the country today. So I decided to do a kind of political, but kind of not stream, and I'm gonna try to show you the difference between the right being censored for what the left is also saying. So I'm going to pull something up here. I could have done this in full screen on each one individually, but I thought it was better side by side. On the left, you have one of my buddies, CanCon, who just recently been suspended for pushing for election integrity. But then on the right here, you have somebody from CNN, which is clearly left, saying the same thing. As you can see in this right here, CanCon's suspended. He got suspended for it. And what do you know? There's no suspension here on the one on the left. So I'm going to kind of play a little bit of the video from both of them. And I'm just hoping this video gets out. It shows the corruption in the media and these big streaming platforms. So here we go. Let's see.
It's June 29th, 2021, and it has officially happened. I have been banned from YouTube. Yes. I am still waiting for any form of notification from them. They have not given me any email notice that I've been banned. I was on the phone with Populist Revolt, talking to them about some things that happened with their site. When I got back on, when I got off the phone, jumped online, and boom, channel's gone. Can't find it anywhere. Now they also simultaneously hit Doug and Q. What's up, guys?
All right, so if you could go here and support this guy. He does his homework. Everything he says can be proven with documentation, which he usually shows on his streams. All right, then we got the left here.
Chaos. The board released new numbers suggesting Eric Adams' lead over Catherine Garcia had narrowed. But then, hours later, the board backtracked after questions arose and actually pulled the results off the site at one point. In a statement, the board explaining it's
Okay, she's talking about integrity here of the elections, so pay close attention.
been determined that ballot images used for testing were not cleared from the election management system. When the cast vote records were extracted for the first poll of ranked choice voting results, it included both test and election night results, producing approximately 135,000 additional records. Joining us now, CNN senior political analyst John Avlon, who has worked with the Board of Elections, served on the Voter Advisory Commission in the past, is throwing up his hands in the break as we talk about this. There are really, I think, three key points when we talk about this. Number one, as you were saying to me in the break, we want to figure out how this happened, including, how the test ballots were left in there. But you said you're not even convinced that that's actually what happened. What do you mean by that?
There is absolutely no reason to take the Board of Elections at its word, particularly because I question whether they're organized enough to run 135,000 test ballots, let alone, given the fact they're too incompetent to erase that total, apparently, from the numbers they initially released. Look, folks nationally may be scratching their heads. Folks in New York know this all too well. The New York City Board of Elections is a corrupt, incompetent patronage organization. And this should give just the latest reason it needs to be ripped up from the roots and totally rebuilt.
Let me stop you on that point. What are the chances that that happens, especially in the wake of what we're seeing now?
This level of a screw-up might actually compel the state and the city to work together on this, and that's where it gets complicated. I don't want to get in the weeds here, but basically, even though it's the New York City Board of Elections, it's set up under the state constitution. So no mayor can do this alone. You need the governor, the state legislature, and the mayor to do this. But given the prominence of this, the sheer incompetence, this is not a problem with ranked choice voting. I want to make that really clear. Ranked choice voting, I think, is actually a great thing when it comes to representative elections. This is about the Board of Election not being able to do its job again on a higher stage under more scrutiny than ever before. So the state legislature, the governor, and the mayor need to work together to get this done. This thing needs to be ripped up and reformed and turned into a nonpartisan professional organization, not some relic of Tammany Hall that managed to screw up everything it touches.
So it is a uniquely New York City problem.
It is.
Now, the other question this morning is, right, if you're saying you're not even totally convinced that this is about 135,000 test ballots
Trust
that were
but verify.
left in there,
Yeah.
what does this do to the integrity, right, of the elections? What does it do to the voters in New York and in New York City when they look at, they've cast their ballot, and here's where they are more than a week later?
This is the ultimate potential tragedy of this. You've got a new system of voting put in place. People are going to blame that. You've got an ex-president who's been trying to raise questions and concerns about the integrity of our elections. And then you have an election administration that can't do its job, which raises those questions. And so folks will be going into their own camps and questioning the results of this mayoral election for a long time to come. So it cuts to the heart of the integrity of our elections. And that's what we need to be strengthening right now. Look, if New York City Board of Elections had been in the Deep South, this thing would have been the subject of a DOJ takeover a long time ago. That's how corrupt and incompetent it is. But what the Board of Elections needs to do now is to try to dig its...
There you go. Even CNN is saying if this would have been in the South, it's all right-wing conservatives, the DOJ would have already been involved in it. So just remember that.
Itself out of the hole, have total transparency, which is almost impossible given the fact that it's run by a bunch of politicians' wives and children, and mothers, literally, to actually restore confidence in the system. Again, this is not about ranked choice voting. This is about the incompetence of the Board of Elections. That needs to be fixed now, because we're at a time when the integrity of our elections is being under attack by partisan forces. This is the last thing we need in America's largest city.
That is saying a lot when you say that if this was a different state, if this was in the South, as you just said, this would have been taken over by the DOJ.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there, and this will not be the last time we talk about it.
No, it will not.
Thank you, my friend.
Our national correspondent Athena Jones is here, and senior political writer Harry Anton. Athena, obviously.
All right, so there you go. The guy over here on the left is banned for questioning election integrity. Then you got over here on the right, which is the left, saying exactly the same thing. I'm trying to understand why they're banning people on the left or banning people on the right, but not on the left. I don't know, maybe you could put some comments in the chat, maybe try to help me explain this, but it's YouTube, mainly YouTube. Facebook does it all the time, so Twitter does it all the time, banning people because of the right-wing conservatives. But I just don't understand it. I don't know what happened to freedom of speech, voicing your opinion, things like that. I don't understand it. Maybe, I don't know, leave me some comments in the comments below. But whatever you do, please go right here to this guy, and give him some help, because YouTube has royally screwed him. He only had one strike on his page. He had two to